Hi, Kathy. Thank you so much for making time for me today. I know you've got a busy schedule, so I promise to respect your time.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. I was able to walk around your home and see some of the beautiful features that you have outside and already made some notes. If it's okay with you, would it be comfortable if I set my things down in your kitchen and you show me around your home?
Sure, I'd love to.
Thank you. Run around. Thank you. What a beautiful home. I've made extensive notes, and so I will be able to turn those all into the marketing department, and they will create what we call feature cards, which is just one of the many things that we do different at the Kaler Bortnick team.
Perfect.
I've put together some information for you, both in this packet that I will leave behind, but I'll explain it to you, along with my contact information, and I'm available 24/7.
Okay.
Kathy, I work for you. So if today at 7 o'clock is convenient, then guess what? That's convenient for me as well.
Perfect.
So any day, at any time that I can help you, I'm available.
Okay. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. So if you wouldn't mind keeping your time frame in mind, I'd like to go through just a few points of difference with the Kaler Bortnick team with Reese Nichols that is different than anyone else out there.
Okay.
First and foremost, I'm so proud to show you our magazine. This magazine is exclusive to Kaler Bortnick. It's a quality magazine. It shows all of the listings that we have in there. It's done very, very well. There's always a beautiful home on the cover. As a matter of fact, I'd love to see your home on that cover.
Is that a possibility?
Oh, you bet it is.
How do you determine which house goes on the cover?
It's determined within the marketing department. So, we all have a fair shot of that. There's 35 agents on my team, so we all bring our listings in. And Kathy and Heather, along with the marketing team, decides what's the best fit. But still, let's just say you don't make the cover, though, today, Kathy. You can go through here and see that every home is featured in a most beautiful way. So even if you're not on the front cover, sometimes people don't start at the cover anyway. They start at the back of the magazine and move forward. So either way, we will make sure that you have the best placement possible within the magazine.
Okay.
This magazine is a quarterly magazine. It's dropped at 25 different retail areas, and then it's what we call farmed in many different communities. Overall, our magazine reach is so substantial that 15% of our buyers actually come from this magazine.
Perfect.
Some other points of difference that I'd like to share with you today.
Now, you said that this is done. Sorry, you said that this is done quarterly. When was the last one put out?
Oh, you are? I'm sorry.
That's a great question, Kathy. I'm glad you asked. Yes, our magazine comes out quarterly, and that's kind of why I wanted to get in to speak with you today to make sure that I get you into the next issue. We still have opportunity to get you in, but I'm going to have to be able to turn in that information by the close of this week. So that's a great question. I definitely want you featured in the next magazine.
Okay.
Some of the other things that we do different that nobody else does in the Kansas City marketplace, I'd like to go through with you real quick. Do you know that the Kaler Bortnick team last year alone sold $251 million in real estate transactions?
Wow.
We sell a
amazing.
house every 30 minutes. We had 746 happy families in 2014. Would love to make you part of our 20% year-over-year increase for 2015.
Wow.
Our business is on fire, and we want to be able to bring that same kind of Platinum Star service to you, Kathy. We're the only team in Kansas City to be nationally ranked. And what that means is of all the teams around the country, and they are like bunnies, they're everywhere, we're ranked number 14th by the Wall Street Journal.
Wow.
And you can see that.
So 14, and you're competing with major markets like California and New York and...
You bet. All across the country.
Wow, that's a huge...
So we're number 1 in Kansas City, and we're number 14 in the entire nation. And just to kind of give you an example, being number 1 in Kansas City, that's 23 years in a row, 24 years counting this year. And we're not number 1 by a couple of bucks. We're number 1 by over $100 million, as you can see by these statistics.
Wow. That's huge.
It is huge.
Now, with that said, being number 1, I think comes a lot of pressure. Are you guys going to have enough time to service my listing and to be able to get my house sold? It sounds like you guys have a lot of business already. My biggest concern with you being you having enough time to really take care of my listing and get my house sold?
Beautiful question. I love this question. We're asked that a lot. Again, because there's 35 buyer agents, and then we have Kathy and Heather, and we have a complete support staff from a marketing department to a listing department to a closing department. Besides being part of the Reese Nichols umbrella, we bring a lot to the table. And you know what else is nice, Kathy, is there's so much that we can do electronically today, especially as we start up through the holiday season. Everything can be signed electronically. As much as I would love to do as many face-to-face as make you comfortable, as far as all the paperwork and that kind of thing, we can do it electronically.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with electronics, so that's fine.
And your home is the most important home to me. You know, we have lots of listings, but your home is the home that is most important to me. And so I'd like to be able to prove that to you. And I think proving it is through action. But let me kind of go ahead and show you some of the
Sure.
other concrete things that we do to make
Sure.
sure we do your listing. We have an entire plan of action that we follow, and all of us follow this. All of the listing agents, all the buyers agents follow this. And it's, again, from the magazine to what we do on our weekly, every Monday we get together for our weekly sales meeting, and we go through every listing and we do virtual e-tours. So we all tour your home virtually and fill out feedback sheets that we're happy to supply back to you so we can go through it and see exactly what's going on with your home and your market.
Okay.
We'll set you up on Sell Your Home. You'll be the neighborhood expert. It'll show you, and I'll get to all the comps and all of that, but I'm going to make that digitally available to you as well. There's a lot of other companies that are out there, and you can see by their statistics. Again, it's quite a bit different, a different story would.
And these are complete companies versus your team?
Exactly right. This is
Okay.
Remax, Keller Williams, Realty Executive, so on and so forth.
Okay.
So you can see their stats versus ours. And back to that, we sell a home every 30 minutes.
Okay.
The other thing that I think that is important to understand is that we get 98 to 99% of list. Most Kansas City companies get around 97%, anywhere from 94 to 97. The other thing that we do is we close over 97% of our contracts that we bring to market. The other companies close 94%. Wouldn't you like to have that additional 3 points to saying we're going to get your contract closed when we get
Yeah.
to the
I
contract?
don't want to have to be on a yo-yo where I go back and forth.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what
not.
makes your contracts stay together versus these other companies? What's the difference?
We shop your contract, and that's where I was just getting ready to go, so
Perfect.
I appreciate that question. We shop your contract, and just to explain that real quick, and I know that you're familiar with the process, but our process is once we get a contract, we go out to all the other people. We stay in contact with the other agents as they're showing your property and make sure that we're in contact with them, and when we get a contract, we contact all of the interested parties and make sure that they know that we've got a contract and now's the time to bring their contract within the next 24 hours. So we've found that not only gives us multiple offers, which is always a good place to be,
Right.
but it also lets us look at what is the best offer. This offer here is based on a contingency, offer A, contingency. They're putting 10% down. So again, 3 different scenarios, 3 different outcomes. Let's focus on what your question was. If you can see that home A, or scenario A, this home was on the market for 31 days. It was listed at $469. There was no price adjustments, and it sold. These others, days on market 161, serious price reductions, and it ended up canceled. Days on market 355, went from 585 to finally sold. So
But it took a year.
it took almost 2.
Wow.
So yeah, you're right. It took just under a year. So
Right.
either way, the scenario is this, that we want to make sure that we get you the best offer. And if we can find you a cash offer that'll close immediately, I think that's what you're looking for. I don't think you're enjoying paying 2 mortgages and want to get on with your life
Right.
in South Carolina. So
Right.
that's what we really bring to the table for you. The other thing that I want to show you is that we spend 10 times more spend in digital than anyone else. And it's just not a few websites that we're on every website that there is. So from Zillow to Realtor.com, we dominate that space. Another thing that we do different that I'd like to show you is the Kansas City Business Journal. In the Kansas City Business Journal, Taylor Bortnick is the only one that owns space in that for Home of the Day. And so the digital spin on this Home of the Day is amazing in what the viewership is that it brings to you. We have found that using the Home of the Day and all the other homes featured within the Kansas City Weekly Business Journal has driven our business and is now gaining speed as being a strong component, just like our own magazine.
Wow.
So that's one of the things that we do different. I'd like to show you just one of the direct mail pieces that I've done on a particular listing that I have up here in your neighborhood in the National. You'll see that that's quite beautiful. And this is an example of what a nice brochure would look like for you.
Okay. And you do this on all of your listings?
You bet I do.
Okay.
And something else that I like to do is think out of the box. Open houses are wonderful, but they don't Reese Nichols gets behind them when we have great weekends and all of that, but as the weather is turning and we're moving into the holiday season, you've got to think differently. I thought you might enjoy seeing an example of thinking differently. This was an art party that I threw at a condo down at the Kirkwood on the plaza. And it was a wonderful way to bring in agents and consumers and let them see the beautiful space without, quote, having an open house.
Great idea.
Thank you. I'm up to those different kind of ideas for you. What you'll find in your packet that I left for you is a seller's disclosure, some additional information about our team, and some additional paperwork that I'm going to send you digitally so you don't have to fill that out today.
Yeah, and we're not ready to list today. We're just looking, we're shopping a couple different agents. And so, and especially with the weather starting to turn down and the holidays, I think we'll wait probably until the beginning of the year once we've interviewed a couple.
I completely understand, and my apologies. I thought that I was the last agent that you were interviewing, so my apologies. That must have been miscommunicated to me. One thing that I would recommend is I do have a lot of buyers in your area right now. There's no inventory on the market. If you would be interested in a seller's permission to show, and it would go ahead and negotiate the commission as well, I would really appreciate that. It will allow me to start marketing your home today. And that's really what you need. We can do it in multiple different ways without even putting a sign in your yard. So if that makes you feel more comfortable, but let's get those 35 agents to work, and including my buyers, let's get their buyers in to sell your home today. How does that sound?
That sounds good. Now, this means that I'm not listing my house, right?
This means that you are listing your house as an exclusive with the Taylor Bortnick team and myself specifically, and that we will bring qualified buyers to your home, and we'll pre-qualify them for you, and that your house will not go live in the MLS until you're ready for that to happen. We'll sign it in the yard and all of that. So after we can sign this, we'll sign a waiver that says keep this out of the listing, the public listing domains.
Okay.
I can either do that or put a sign in your yard that says coming soon.
I'm just worried with the holidays that we're not going to get any traffic and the weather outside, and we want to be able to enjoy the holidays.
I hear this a lot, but I have to tell you, this is one of the best times to show, and let me tell you why. People are so emotional. They're used to having their wallets open. It's the holidays. They're spending money. They walk into this beautiful space. They see how lovely it is decorated. It makes them think family and home, and why am I not here, and it's warm, and this is the time to list. So if you could sign right here, and then we'll go ahead and sign the MLS waiver, and we'll put that for January 1 as to keep it convenient for yourself. And I'll send the rest of the information this evening in Dotloop. In closing, Kathy, I made a little video that I think would kind of sum up what we just were able to talk about.
It's a pleasure to finally meet up with you after weeks of speaking on the phone and not being able to set up a face-to-face meeting.
Hi Wally, I'm Silly Sally Homeowner, and it's great to finally meet you in person. I'm sorry I blew you off for weeks after making an inquiry, but how serious is selling a home anyway, right?
Are you kidding?
No.
Let's get down to business. I analyzed the market around your home, and based on what has sold and is still for sale, I estimate its value at $200,000.
Great. Since you have taken the time to do all this research and it's obviously worth 200,000, let's go ahead and list it at 300,000.
Are you kidding?
No.
Are you stupid?
No.
Are you on drugs?
No.
Are you a fucking retard?
No.
So I look forward to working with you and getting this home sold.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good enough.